continuing professional education. So that is also part of our requirements. And we also call it as CPD, like continuing professional developments. Um, for you guys as a care support workers, you also holding these requirements that you would need to always refresh your knowledge and your skills in your workplace. And also you do need to um, developing new skills and new knowledge as well in the workplace. It means you are not only complete this course and then start working, that means you no longer require further study. No. According to this continued professional education or developments, you guys required to continue having different type of training and education in your workplace as well. So for your manager, they do need to organize and arrange different type of training for you guys, and definitely they will base on what you know and what you don't know, then they will provide a relevant education. But for us, as a registered nurse, we are holding more responsibility and also the required registered nurse for continued professionals. For example, like us, we do need to do education at least 20 hours per year. So we do need to show a evidence to the APRA, we call, that is the organizations to managing and reviewing all of our registration, including the doctors, the physio who also holding the registration. We need every year when we renew our registration, we need to show the evidence to them we are doing different type of training in the year, right? So, but for you guys as care support workers, you don't have that requirements because you guys are not holding the registration, but you still having the requirements to for continuous development. All right. So it will be good and important for you to communicate with your supervisor and your manager which area you feel like you are not that confident or you want to improve yourself, definitely including improving your knowledge and your skills. So your management team can base on your idea and your weaknesses. That's to arrange different educations or training for you. But as we mentioned previously, there are two uh, training that you must attend. All right, that is you can select which topics you want to do. These two are the compulsory. You must attend every year. One is the manual handling training. The second one is the fire safety training. These two are the requirements from the legislation. If you want to work in aged care, you must attend these two training every year. Okay, at least once a year. Your employer, they will organizing, for example, a physio to come and conduct this manual handling training with you. In the training, they would show you what will be the manual handling techniques, how to use different equipments, such as the full body lifter, stand-up lifter, sliding sheet, wheelchair, how to transfer by using the pelican belt, or the sliding board, etc., etc. Right? They will show you how to do it. They will demonstrate to you, but also they require you to practice. And the physio will do a assessment on you to say whether you are competent or not. If you are not competent, you can't demonstrate to the physio that you knowing how to use this equipment safely and appropriately. Um, your physio will say you have failed to doing this. You may need to um, attend this training again. All right, that is required you to do it every year. Even though you may have been like me working in the aged care facility for 15 years, but every year we still need to attend those training. All right. For the fire safety training, the former firefighter or fire brigade, they will come and teach you guys how to use the fire extinguisher, or definitely different type of fire extinguishers, not only CO2, it may have some water as well, different type of fire extinguisher. And also the fire blankets, yeah, especially if you work in the kitchens or if you have any clients that they are smoking in the designated smoking area, then all the staff they need to know how to safely using the fire blankets, right? So those are the two compulsory training. Otherwise, your managers and your employer, they will definitely provide you so many different type of training. I think nowadays the most common training it would be about new aged care standards. Yeah, I believe that most of the facility would make it as compulsory for all staff to come and attend this training. They will show you about the new standards, the new Aged Care Act, what is the requirements or the policy and procedure regarding the new aged care standards, how do we meeting the new aged care standards. I think that would be the most really popular one that you must do. And also the other training I'm sure your management team will organizing for you, that is food safety training. Yeah, especially that would be compulsory for all of the kitchen staff. Yeah, if you also working in the kitchens or as a kitchen hand or as a chef, you guys must attend the food safety training. And also the chemical safety, like how to use chemicals safely. That training would be also conducted by your employer as well. They will teach you how to use some really common chemicals in our workplace, right? Like if you're working in the kitchen, working in the laundry, right? You do need to using different chemicals and detergents to sanitize the washing machine and also using for washing the laundry, etc., etc. So they will teach you which one, how to use those chemicals, how to use them safely, and also there is one, it's called SDS, that is Safety Data Sheet. So that is the manual, lists all of those chemicals you would have chance to be used in the aged care facility. It's like a manual, a booklet. So you can check which chemicals you're going to use, and it will write down all of those, like what precaution you need to wear, how many like liters of water you need to mix, or how do you gonna safely use those chemicals, right? All of those the training that your employer will definitely provide it to you. Some of the training after you attend, they would give you a certificate. If without certificates, they will definitely mark your attendance, because they do need to provide evidence to prove that how many staff actually attend this training, how many staff are competent with this training, and do we need to arrange more different sessions to make sure all the staff attended, right? So you know most of the education would be organized in the morning, right, or in the afternoon. But sometimes for the night shift staff, we are not excluding them. We still need to support the night shift staff. So probably your management team, they need to think about to organize some of the training in the really early morning. So when the staff finish their night shift, they can probably extend their hours for another 1 hours, so they can finish the training before they go home, something like this, right? They need to accommodate for all the staff, not only the morning or afternoon shift staff. Yeah. And it is, I think I will give you some hints or tips that I would encouraging you guys to do is every year your supervisor or your manager, they would have they will do a staff appraisal with you once a year. Yeah, that is their responsibility as well to do the staff appraisal with you. That is also a good opportunity for you to let your supervisor know what type of training or what do you want to improve your knowledge and skills. Don't miss that opportunity, because that is a really good chance for you to show your supervisor what do you think to provide a better care in your workplace, right? If you definitely want to promote yourself, or you want to try a different role, or you want to do something different in the organization, that will be a good opportunity to speak up to your supervisor, right? And it's about continue professional education. That is everybody's responsibility. As we say, a higher management role, or like the registered nurses, we do have a higher expectation, higher requirements to meet these standards, right? And the following legal requirements for us, for all of us, it is about discrimination. So definitely, as we say, we are not allowed to give any unfair treatment to people due to their identity or characteristics, right? Those are listed here on the left-hand side for you, regardless of their age or disability or race, religion, sex, or gender. We must provide a fair and equal treatment to all of our clients. Okay. Discrimination, it is also a really serious problem in our workplace. Definitely, we do need to treat our colleagues without discrimination as well. Okay. If you do feel your manager or your supervisor, they are discriminating you because of your religions, or because of your gender, or sex orientation, etc., they are definitely breaching the anti-discrimination law, right? So on the right-hand side of this slide, it's showing you that the different legislation about discrimination. So in Australia, we do have those legislation to protect everybody from discrimination. That is that's related to the Age Discrimination Act 2004, Disability Discrimination Act 1992, Racial Discrimination Act 1975, and also the Sex Discrimination 1984. So you can see most of those legislation have been developed and created to protect everybody since many years ago, like the ones, the oldest is from 1975, right? The age discrimination is 2004. So we do definitely need to follow and make sure we have no discrimination to anybody in our workplace, all right? I want you guys to do the following activities to read through this scenario and then tell me what breach has the workplace committed. So the scenario is about Martin. Martin is a 58, is sitting in the conference room being interviewed for a job. It is all going well, but then one interviewer asks how old he is, as his date of birth wasn't indicated on his resume. So Martin refused to give his age. He states that his age is not an indicator of whether he can do the job well, but his work experience, knowledge, and strong references should be what prove his abilities. So Martin does not get the job. A friend who works in the organization tells him that they employ a 25 years old female because they felt a younger person with a soft approach would be the best for this position. I'll give you guys 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to think about what are the organization, or what's the breach, what the organization breach about this scenario. So please, you can write down your, type your answers on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself to let me know. Right, so I'll give you 2 minutes, probably take 30 seconds to read through the scenario again and think about what the breaches has the workplace committed. After you're reading it, you can start typing your answers on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and let me know. Okay, someone has already started writing their answers. All right. It's cool. I want to see everybody participate into the activities. Okay. Some of the students, you need to be aware that if you are at work, if you are not fully participating into the class, it is really hard for me to mark your attendance. I don't expect you guys are working and also attending the class. That is not enough, right? Because I'm not confident that you are learning by just not participating into the class. So it is your responsibility as a student. Since the first day you join the course, you need to know, you need to pay your contributes to the class. So someone say equal employment opportunity. Okay. Right. Bridging the Age Discrimination Act. So far, I can see you guys start typing your answers, but at this stage, only few staff are writing the 100% correct answers. Okay, so for most of the students, you probably need to read the scenario again and see if you have missed any information. So the tips I can give it to you is definitely that they are not only bridging one, they are bridge more than one. So if you are only identified one, then I will need you to read the scenario again. Yeah, some of the students, they've done it correctly. We have mentioned age. Yeah, age definitely is the one. Yeah, because the employer, the interviewer asked about Martin's age. But other than his age, do you think the interviewer or the employer, they also breach something else? Oh, okay. So Jason has mentioned the workplace has committed for the age discrimination and privacy. So which parts you think the organization or the interviewer, they are breaching the Martin's privacy?
Because uh, when the Martin didn't put the age on the resume, so it's assumed that Martin doesn't want to give the information to the workplace, but the workplace are like force Martin to give his age.
I don't think in this scenario that saying the interviewer forced Martin to give his day of birth. It is saying that the interviewer did ask Martin about his age, but Martin did explain to them why he believed his age is not relevant to the job he is applying. So I don't think the workplace or the interviewer or the employer has breached Martin's privacy. That is not probably related to his privacy, but definitely asking the person's age during the interview, it is inappropriate, right? Especially that is not related to the job. But even though it's related, the person should not be asking about their age. Yep, okay, I can see those, the students are putting more of their ideas about the workplace breach. You guys are correct. So it is not only breaching the Martin's age, it's not, so they are not employed. Martin is because of his age and also for his gender, yeah, for the sex. Because you can see the friend told him that they want to have someone younger, and also they employ a female staff because they believe the female staff would have a soft approach. So that is definitely, it's breaching the sex discrimination as well. So it's not only age discrimination they breach, they also breach the sex discrimination. Right? They thought female staff would have a soft approach, so they decide to choose a person who is younger and also is soft approach. So it's not based on the person's experience or their knowledge or references. They just choose someone with because of their age and also because of their gender, right? So in this case, it's definitely, it's breaching the age and also a gender sex discrimination, right? So that it's helping you guys to understanding some of the relevance questions that should not be asked during the interview. For example, even though in the interview, your interviewer, they should not asking you, are you planning to have baby, or are you getting married, etc. Those questions that should not be asked because that is not relevant to the positions. Even though it's relevant or not, that should not be asked. It's really inappropriate to ask those private questions during the interview, right? You guys can do some research regarding what question is appropriate to be asked during the interview. And it is your right to refuse to answer some of the questions if you feel like that it's inappropriate, all right? All right, so thank you for the students who contribute and participate into this activity. And the following, it's about dignity of risks and duty of care, right? I think that is the two we have mentioned frequently, and also it's one of the really important legal requirements to all of us. Yeah, not only the care staff, it's important for all of us working in the aged care and disabilities services. So I want to remind you guys again, duty of care, it is one of our legal obligations for all workers. Okay, so please write down these key terms or key words about duty of care. in the future, when I'm asking you what duty of care is, or what you are understanding, or what you remember the keywords of duty of care, I really want to firstly hear you know duty of care, it is your legal obligations for everybody, right? And also, the second paragraph on this PowerPoint slide is showing you as a support workers, you need to protect your clients to the best of your ability, okay? And be in your best interest that the client does not suffering from any harm. So those we mentioned harm is not only the physical harm, that is also including emotional harm and also mental harm. All right, so you are not allowed to emotionally or psychologically causing any traumas to your clients, right? And definitely you can't cause any physical injury to our client. That is part of our duty of care. So the keywords of the second paragraph you do need to understand about duty of care. It's you do need to protect your clients' safety or well-being, okay? And make sure the care and services you provide to them are not causing any harm, injury, or damage to your clients. Okay, that is from us to the clients. We do need to protect our clients from what you are doing. So all the care and services you provided to your clients, it must be safe. Right? That's why we say anything you are not sure, check with your supervisor. Do not do anything by your assumption, or if you are not confident, or you are not competent, or you are not sure what to do, please don't do it, because you're putting your clients at risk. Okay? So please write it down. That is the key information about duty of care. Do you guys remember what dignity of risk is?
Yes.
Okay, Audrey, can you let us know what you remember or what you're understanding about dignity of risk?
Dignity of risk is the client has the right to make their own decision, given that they know they are informed about the risk that they're gonna undergo to, and they have the right to carry out that decision despite the risk. And we have the responsibility to minimize and protect them from the risk that we already told them about.
Excellent. Well done. Very good, Audrey. That is a really good explanation about dignity of risks. If any of you are still not quite sure about dignity of risk, please write them down. So dignity of risk is one of our legal requirements. That's to promote our clients to making decision themselves, even though that decision they are making may involve some level of risks. Yeah, same as us. Every day we're making so many decisions, right? We crossing the streets, we need to make decision. Yes, there is a cars coming, whether you want to cross these streets. That is one of the decision. You know that crossing the streets when it's not when the traffic light is on, there are so many risks. You may have car accidents. When you decided to crossing the street, that is your decisions. We want our clients living in aged care facility. They do also holding that power. They can make their own decision for themselves. All right. But also we are holding the duty of care, so we do need to provide the information to our clients. When you're making this decision, you may experiencing those level of risks. You may have those consequences if you decided to do so. That is our responsibility to inform the clients. After they understanding the information you provided, but they still want to continue doing it, then we would need to respect our client's decision. But definitely, if they say I want to kill myself, or if I want to kill somebody, then we are not, because of the law, we're saying that we can't just respect our clients for those decisions. We still need to definitely report it, right? We are not supporting our clients to kill themselves, right? So you do need to understanding the balance between duty of care and dignity of risks. The following video I'm going to show you that is, I believe that is really helpful to help you to understanding in terms of dignity of risk. We want to respect our client's decision, but we also holding a duty of care. How do we balancing this two? All right, let's really have a look. Oh, yes.
What am I supposed to be looking for?
Let our user-friendly online portal take the stress out of your NDIS funding.
Amy Golding from the Mental Health Recovery Institute, and I want to talk to you today about the concepts of dignity of risk and duty of care. This is something that's really poorly misunderstood in human services. So let's start with, this is a model that's been helpful for me to understand it, just to get some clarity around how we use these in our services. So imagine that there's a continuum between duty of care and we've got dignity of risk at the other end. So what do these terms mean? Let's start with duty of care, because this is often really misunderstood. Duty of care refers to the legal responsibility, make a note here, legal responsibility that organisations have and the staff within them to do no harm to the people that they support. So in many cases, services and institutions have actually mistreated and abused clients, particularly in the past, although it still happens sometimes these days too. So duty of care was brought in to say that those organisations have a responsibility not to harm the people that they support. Now this is a little bit different from how it's sometimes understood, because people think that duty of care means I have to protect the client from themselves. I have to protect them from any mistakes that they make and make sure that they're not harmed in any way. That's not quite right. Remember, it's about protecting the person from us as services, not from their own choices.
Ellie Pay, money makes things happen.
Okay, we keep going.
On the other side here, we've got dignity of risk. And dignity of risk refers to the right that every one of us has, whether we have a mental health issue
Oh, sorry.
or not, the right that we have to make choices and to take risks and even to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes, so that we can learn from those mistakes. It's about learning, it's about mistakes. Ultimately, it's about freedoms. Now, historically, many services have started from this side. They've started on this end of the continuum thinking, well, I have to protect the person, I don't want to see them get in any harm. So they've bubble wrapped the person and not allowed them to actually experience life in many cases. And sometimes they've gone, all right, well, they've been well behaved and I feel comfortable, so, I'll let the person make some choices in one area when I feel safe to do so. What we're saying now, and what the policies and legislation in Australia is saying, is that we actually need to start from this end of the continuum, from dignity of risk, recognising that every single person has the right to decide how they want to live their life. And yes, there are some times when we do need to step into our duty of care, but our starting point is from this side, and sometimes we move across to duty of care, not the other way around. So what are some of those exceptions, some of those times when we do need to step into duty of care? Well, the law says it's when there's a risk of death or permanent disability. So one example of this would be in the case of suicide. That's a case where in Australian law we have the Mental Health Act, which says that a person does not have the right to kill themselves. In that case, services do need to step in, and the appropriate person who's authorised to do so can actually put the person in hospital even if they don't want to go, because they don't have that right. Permanent serious disability. If a choice the person's making is going to result in permanent serious disability, then again we can step into our duty of care and take action. Now, this doesn't mean just a broken bone, it's got to be serious disability there. Another example where there's an exception is where there's a lack of capacity. So if it's determined that the person doesn't have the mental capacity to make decisions for their own life, that's another time when duty of care would operate. But that's not up to you and I to decide. That's actually got to be decided through a legal process. So we have tribunals where that's determined, looking at all the factors and getting information from all the people in the person's life. So if the person's deemed to have a lack of capacity, then our duty of care might step in to make choices for the person rather than them make them for themselves. And finally, another example where there's an exception to this rule is where there's involuntary treatment orders or community treatment orders. That means that the person's required to have treatment even if they don't want it. And again, that's decided through a tribunal, through a legal process. It's not our responsibility. It's only in those situations where we might make a decision on behalf of the person and their own choice is not respected.
What if you earned airline miles on your everyday spending? The next trip is closer than you think.
So that sort of raises the question, people say, well, what about if someone's smoking and it's bad for them and they're not allowed, it's going to cause lung cancer, it's going to impact on them, it could give permanent serious disability. So shouldn't we stop people from smoking? Well, not really, because if we think about it, remember every single one of us has the dignity of risk to make choices. So if you or I are allowed to smoke and we're allowed to give ourselves that disability, then so is the person that we're supporting. That's a good way to check. Is your average everyday person allowed to make this decision? And if so, then so is the client. Unless there's a CTO in place. That we work with. So it's a shift in a way of thinking about this for many people, but ultimately it's about respecting the freedoms that the person has. Now, one of the problems that can come about is when people take this to the extremes. So if we look at duty of care, the extreme end of that is overprotection. So sometimes services get so worried that oftentimes that they're going to get in trouble. They're really worried that that's going to happen, so they overprotect the client and don't allow them to have these freedoms. At the other end, instead of dignity, whatever they want, and they go too far to the extreme. That's neglect, and that's not okay either. But neglect is again a legal term, and it's important to know if we're worried about going too far that way, what are the legal requirements around neglect? I'll just make a note of them here. In order to get in trouble with neglect, there's 3 things that have to happen. 1, it has to be proven that you had a duty, that you were the person responsible for stepping in. So in the case of in the workplace, if you weren't on shift, for example, you might not have a duty because you weren't the one responsible at the time. It's only by virtue of working in that organisation that you have a duty. The second is I have to show that there's been some breach, that you haven't taken reasonable steps appropriate to your job role and your training to protect the person from these things. So if you've done all the right things, what are reasonable steps? Well, it can be talking with the person about the potential impact of their choices, documenting that, speaking with your supervisor and colleagues, referring to the policies and procedures. They're all reasonable steps, and if you've done those, then you've protected yourself. And finally, the third one is injury. There has to be a serious injury, and again, we're talking death or permanent serious disability. If that doesn't happen, you can't be liable for neglect. So I know that's a lot of information, and it is a different way of thinking about things, but that's a rundown of how I make sense of duty of care and dignity of risk and how they fit together. Remember, the key point is we start from this place. Every single human being has the right to make decisions for themselves, and it's only in these cases that our duty of care steps in, where we take reasonable actions to support the person. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you.
Alright, so as we stop here, like the video has showing you about dignity of risk and duty of care, hopefully you're getting all of those concepts and understanding this too. As it's mentioned in the video, as a support workers, we should always start supporting our clients' freedom and they making decisions themselves. Then remember, she draw the lines, right? So we should always start supporting our clients with their freedom. If you and I, we have the freedom and right to make our own decision to choose our lifestyle that you want, or who you want to go with, etc., etc. Your clients in the aged care facility or disability services, they do also having the same right. So living in aged care facility is not in the jail. So they still have their right to experience failure, to experience any mistakes, right? That is the person's right. So we should always support our clients to make their own decisions, but don't forget we are holding the responsibility to try to minimize or eliminate the risks that may impact onto our clients. But it doesn't mean that we will completely not allow our clients to have those freedom to do what they want to do, but we are using our skills and knowledge and the different resources to eliminate that potential impact could be caused to our clients, right? For example, as we say, we don't want to overprotect our clients, otherwise your clients feel like they're just in the prison or in the jail. If your clients want to have a box of chocolates every day, right, that's your client's decision. But as we all know that having large amount of chocolates every day, it could be putting on weight, right? or it could have some negative impact onto our heart, right? We were gaining, that is also not a really good eating habit, right? All of those we all know, but we need to bring those information to our clients to help them to understand their decisions would have a lot of risks, right? Our job is not to force our clients not to have chocolates a day, but our job is we want to help our clients to understand what could be the potential consequence and the risks if he or she want to continue doing that, right? So as I mentioned, the decisions, the information we provided to our clients that need to be understandable. Okay, so if your client doesn't understand, let's say, doesn't understand English or doesn't understand the consequences, then we are still not doing our job properly. So we do need to try different way to help our clients to understand. If after the clients understanding all of those information we provided, but they still want to following their life habits, lifestyle they want to have, we do need to respect that is our client's decision. There are some exceptional cases, as in the video has mentioned, except if it could cause death to the person, right? Let's say suicide, or it may cause a serious permanent disability. If that would be the case, then probably our duty of care need to step in to stop our clients continue doing so. Right? Is that make sense? Is this video, what explanation in this video helping you to understanding more about dignity of risk and duty of care?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I do personally feel like this video explain deeply about dignity of risk and duty of care. I think one of the key concepts you should start having on your mindset is we always want to promote empowerment and also freedom of making decisions from our staff, from our clients. Then we're holding the responsibility to make sure we as a staff not causing harm to our clients. But it doesn't mean that the clients not allowed to take risks. Okay, that is the two different concepts. And also we don't want to over protect our clients. Then that means the clients will never have chance to experience the life they want. This is not what dignity of risk means. Okay?
Okay, Tracy.
Yes.
I think that's an important video. So can you share the link for that video to us in column chat?
Sure. If you can take the photo of this, that is the name. So if you search on YouTube, what is duty of care and duty of care versus dignity of risk, I'm sure you will be able to find this video.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all right.
Tracy.
Yeah, because I think this video has clearly explained the differences and also showing you how to balance about duty of care and dignity of risks. That's why I'm sharing with you guys. Yeah, so you can take a screenshots and find this video from YouTube if you feel like that is also helpful for you.
Yep, all good. Thank you.
That's all right. And the following ones, it's also our legal requirements that it's about human rights. Okay, so human right, that is, we did explain briefly in the last couple of units, but here we were going to show you a bit more information. So when we talk about human rights, I think the first thing would come up from your mind, it would be the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Like in the photo I'm showing you on the PowerPoint slide, the lady is holding that document. That is the original copy of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So as we have mentioned previously, this declaration has been developed since 1948, right? And that is listing all of the rights for everyone is entitled for basic human rights. Yeah, and there are 30 articles in this human rights. In these declarations. So each of the article, it means each of the basic human rights. Yeah, if you haven't got chance to read through this Universal Declaration of Human Rights, I would strongly recommend you to Google it. And also you would see that they have been translated into different languages, right? That you could also download it and share with your client as well. If they, even though they don't understand English, you can definitely download the version that is, the clients understands in their language, right? So as we say, that is listing all the entitled basic human rights, and that these human rights applies to all people everywhere. All right, that is not only using in Australia or not using in other countries. It is applies to every single person. All right, and as we say, that is created after World War II by the United Nations to protect all fundamental human rights. Okay, and that is the form the basis for many modern laws and policy. That means you will see a lot of the law and regulation we are using. They are really getting the idea and the information and the concepts from this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Yeah, a lot of our Australian laws and regulation, you will see also getting all of those basics from this document. Okay, and in your understanding, what would be our human right? What would be a human right? As we say, there are 30 articles, but on top of your mind, what would be our basic human rights? Anyone? Do you know about your rights?
Yeah, of course.
What is that? Adi?
It's too many. Yeah, it's too many.
Can you tell me one or two?
Huh?
Can you share with us one or two that's come up from your mind would be our basic human rights?
Yeah, equality and to get like a job and have a right to do practicing like in our religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Practicing your religions.
Then it's too many aspects. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. There are so many aspects. Anyone also can think of what else would be our human rights? So, like Hadi has mentioned, we do have the right to do the jobs, to choose the jobs we want to do. Right? What else?
Right to have education.
Right to have education.
Right to have privacy.
Yep. Right to have privacy.
Right to be healthy. Right to be safety and security.
Yep.
Right to be treated with respect and dignity.
Mm-hmm.
Right to live free from discrimination. Yeah, like that.
Yes. Yeah. You do have the right to marry the person you want, right? No one can force you to marry to anybody, right? That is also your human rights. How about our basic human needs? What is human needs? As a human being, right? So what is our basic needs as a human? Food, yeah. We all need to eat. What else? Clothing, yes. Clothing.
Education.
Education. It is really important, education, but we may not say education. It is a basic human needs. When we're talking about human needs, is we are we don't have those, we're not able to survive.
Safety.
Safety, yeah, we need food, we need air, sleeps, yeah, definitely that will be our basic human needs. So the following slides that is actually showing you what's human needs and human rights about. So as we say, human needs, that is really essential for survival and for development, right? Like we say, we need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to drink water, we need to breathe, right? Those are really a basic human needs. And human rights, that means is everyone's entitled to have those needs met, right? So when we as a support workers, we do need to meeting our clients' basic human needs and also human rights. Yeah, we want to uphold the client's human rights, but definitely 100% we need to meet our clients' needs. Okay? And also here at the second paragraph of this slide is showing you we do have a lot of framework and approaches in Australia to support human needs and human rights in our workplace, right? So definitely first thing, in Australia has signed the 7 UN, which is United Nations Human Rights Treaty, right? So they say, yeah, Australia, we do follow all of those. And also the government turns those treaties into the local laws. We are not only putting those treaties into the as a legislation for every people to follow or every people to practice those rights. And there are more than just putting them into the law. There are additional measures to support and uphold those rights in our daily life and workplace. Right? For example, I think Hadi has mentioned we do have the right to look for a job, right? And then the additional measures from your employer is they need to make sure they're paying you as the right amount of hourly rate. Yeah, that is to protect your that is your right. Once you get this job, they need to make sure they're paying you at the right amount, right? Or if they're asking you to do overtime, they do need to paying you to working overtime as well, right? That is there are different framework and approach that have been practicing and applying to our workplace in Australia, right? So that it's important for you guys to understanding each of the human rights and also make sure we support our clients to uphold those human rights. A lot of elderly people and people with disability, they could be easily be treated without their human rights, or they may breach their human rights, or they may not know they have those human rights that they can practice and protect themselves. So one of our responsibility is to letting our clients know their human rights and also supporting them to uphold those rights. Okay? And the following part is about privacy, confidentiality, and disclosure, also including informed consent. So that is the topics we discussed from day one. All right, that's you know that regardless in any circumstances, we definitely need to protect our clients' privacy. Okay, so that is make sure there's a law to protect that. Make sure the client's information are not being misused. All right. So every time when we're using our client's information, we must use it properly according to the law, and also we must getting the consent. All right. If you're not sure what consent means, consent it is a permission. You're getting the permission from your clients to using their information. So in our workplace, what type of information you may come across to see, or you may come across to use your client's information? What different type of information you may need to use? What are the different type of information of your client's information you use? Come on, everyone. That is really, really easy. That's not a tricky question. What will be the different type of information you would use or you would see every day?
Their
Personal details.
Sorry?
Personal details.
Personal details, right? Like what? What would be our clients?
Like name, gender, age.
Yeah, name, gender, age, and
Date of birth, like that.
yeah, date of birth. So that's the personal information that will be including like their address, right? Their phone number. That is also the personal information. Date of birth, like you say. What else? What would be other type of information?
The medicine they take.
The medicine they take. So what overall what do they call as the information? What type of information is that?
Medical?
Yeah, medical information. So when we talk about our clients' medical information, what else is included? Other than just their medication, what else would be including as a medical information?
Health condition.
Yeah, their conditions, health conditions, yeah. What else?
They're allergic.
Allergies, yeah, their allergies.
Therapy.
Therapies? The therapies they're taking or the treatments, you mean?
Blood type.
What?
Blood type.
Blood type, okay, yeah. Definitely. So, or even though including our clients' medical history, what operation they had previously, right? Their medical diagnosis, all of those would be included as the medical information. Okay, great. So we have mentioned about personal information, medical information, any other information you may come across to use in our workplace. Any other different types?
Emotional.
Emotional info. Background? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Do they have what was their previous occupations, right? Any other about their family history? Yeah, all of those. It would be their social information. Excellent. Anything else?
Financial information.
Financial information, excellent. Even though you care staff, you may not be able to often seeing our clients' financial information, but definitely that would be one type of information sometimes they come across, like their bank details, their bank account, their credit cards, if they have receiving any aged care pensions, etc., etc. So those would be the financial information. So all of those different type of information, they are required to be protected by all of the staff. Okay, so we will not say if you are a care support worker, probably you may not access to certain information. If you are the cleaner, you're definitely not going to get our clients' medical information, right? All of them. So the staff is only based on your role, then you will only be able to access certain information from your client. But every time when we need to share our clients' information to others, please make sure you getting getting the consent from our clients. That is also about disclosure, right? And confidentiality, that means we're only sharing the information with people when it's needed, okay? That means you are not discussing about your clients' family backgrounds when you're having your break with other colleagues, or you are not leaving your client's documents on the table, so when the cleaner walk in so they can read your client's documents, that you are breaching your client's confidentiality. Okay? So in every organization, they must have a really strict policy and procedure to protect our clients' privacy. So can anyone tell me, what do we need to do to protect our clients' privacy and confidentiality? Any specific way or actions we should take in order to protect our clients' privacy and confidentiality? You as a support worker, so you do come across reading your client's medical information or progress note, right? So how do you protect your client's information?
Don't talk about our clients to non-related persons.
Great, excellent. So not to talking about our client's information to any not relevant person. Excellent. What else? What else can we do to
Do not
protect
take
our confidentiality?
photo or video.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Do not take photo or video about our client.
Excellent. Yeah, that is about confidentiality as well. Not to taking any photos of our clients and also their documentation. Excellent. And video as well. Correct. Yeah. What else?
Do not read.
Excellent. Perfect. Good. In terms of protecting clients' documents or information, what else can you do?
Keep paper files in locker cabinet.
Good. So every time after you reading your client's information or documents, make sure you put them back, and all of those documents need to be locked in the cabinets. And that definitely would be used for the hard copy. How about the soft copy? How do you protect your client's soft copy documentation?
Limit access, like use encryption for online data.
Yeah, so make sure you as a staff, you are not sharing your username and passwords to anyone else, right? So that is to protect someone else to write something or access to your account to read your client's information. And also most of the organization, they would require the staff to change their passwords every 3 months, right? It was a pain for me at that time, like keep changing every 3 months. I have to create a new password. Some of the strong system, they would not allow you to have a similar password. So if you say your password is 1234, so next month you can't just use 4321. They're not allowed, because it's too similar, right? That is a really strong system. And also make sure you when you finish using the laptop or your digital system, make sure you log out. Yeah, there are so many times I walk past the nurse's station and there's no staff there. I do see the laptop or the computer still on, and all of those information still are displaying on the screen. So that would also have chance to bridging your so following your organization policy and procedure to knowing how to protect our clients' privacy and confidentiality. Right? And here it's showing you about some information about the privacy Act 1988. As we say, that is a law to cover all of those privacy, confidentiality, and disclosure. Here is showing you in the staff, okay? Can collect and use the personal information of the clients. If the client's giving you the consent, yeah, so you can start collecting their informations, and you are is held accountable for misuse of information that they collect. So that means after the client's giving you their personal, medical, or financial information, you are holding the responsibility not to misuse their information, right? For example, like nowadays, we are easily sharing our mobiles or email address or any other our personal information to say some of the shops, right? And one day you will receive so many text messages and blah 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 from some numbers you never know, or you never met that person. That could be because of the information given from that organization. They are disclosing your personal information to others, or they may sell your information to others. So definitely that is breaching the Privacy Act, right? So as a care support worker, we must use it of the information they collect, right? So sometimes may accidentally collect some information, or if your client has changed some of the information, then we are responsible to update those informations, or we do need to check with the client if there's any changes. So we need to make sure the information we are collected are accurate, right? And can provide clients with access to their own information and that of others. So that means your clients, they provide you their informations. If they are required to access to those documents or information, they do have the right to ask you to provide them the copy. Yeah, because that is their information. But they are not allowed to asking you to get someone else's information. That is the difference. That's what we say. But the clients, they do have the right to access to their own information, right? For example, your clients had a blood test. They asking you, can I get a copy of my blood test results or blood test report? That is their right, right? The pathology will probably send you the results to your organization, to your facility. If the clients request to have one, that is their right, okay? So that's about the Privacy Act. And here we are showing you, as we say, our clients, they do have so many rights, yeah? Especially, I would show you a video about the new Aged Care Act to explain about the Statement of Rights. That is to replace the Charter of Aged Care Rights. I'm not sure if you guys still remember, we have mentioned and discussed the Charter of Aged Care Rights. So since the 1st of November this year, according to the new Aged Care Act, we do have this new Statement of Rights. We're going to discuss it in a minute. But here in this slides is showing you that the clients, they do have the right for privacy, yeah, which is we have keep emphasizing to you guys, and must be informed about how their information is collected and used. That is your organization's responsibility to explain to the clients how do they use their information, who can access to their information, if we need to share their information, what would be the process. That is your client's right to be informed of all of those, okay? If your organization, they have failed to explain, or the client say, oh, I don't understand how the organization using my information, then your organization definitely have big problem about privacy and confidentiality, okay? So remember, let your clients know they do have the right to for their own privacy. But for sure, there is some exceptions, right? Can you think of what would be the exceptions for privacy? In what circumstances we can share our clients' information or their details or their privacy without their consent? Can you think of any exceptions?
Severe injuries, emergencies like that.
Yeah, so you mean if your client is having a serious injury, then you disclose your client's information? What?
Yeah, like in a situation that we have to call 911.
You have to call what?
Call for ambulance kind of thing.
Ambulance? Yeah. Because we do hold the duty of care for our clients, right? If there's any medical emergency, yes. And also if your client is unable to make the consent, for example, they are already unconscious or they are unable to making any consents to you, then we are holding the duty of care to contact the ambulance without the client's consent. Yeah, for sure. But if your client's still able to make the consent, you do need to ask them, right? I do have a couple of experience that some of the clients, we believe they do need to go to hospital, but they refuse or they decline. That is your client's decisions, right? But I convince the clients, I explain to her why it is important to go to hospital, then our clients change her mind. But what I'm trying to say is, if your client's still able to make decision themselves, then we need to ask for consent whether they want to share their information to the ambulance, right? Any other circumstances you can think of would be the exceptions to privacy?
Legal requirement.
Sorry?
A legal requirement.
Legal requirements, correct. So if there's any chance that the judge or in the court they're required to access some of the information, yes, we definitely need to provide those. So here is showing you that some of the exceptions, right? So if it's required by mandatory reporting, for example, if your client is being abused by one of the staff, so because of mandatory reporting, you do need to report it without the person's consent, right? Even the client say, no, I don't want to report, but that is the law. We're saying that if our client's being abused, any forms of abuse, that is part of mandatory reporting. So that would be the exceptions to, even though you may need to provide details of your client and also the staff who abuse our clients, right? And also, non-disclosed may cause harm. That means if your clients say they're going to kill others, right? Even though that is the privacy, but that is causing other residents or anyone else harm or causing injury, then we still need to report it, right? Without the person's consent. Even though the person doesn't want you to disclose, but because we do holding the duty of care to others, we must disclose those situations, right? And also the other ones is like Yong has mentioned, any health or safety is at risks, right? Then that would be the time we need to definitely report it. And also any legal purposes. So we do need to provide those informations in the courts, right? But otherwise, the client's information that need to be protected for privacy and confidentiality only in those 4 different exceptions. Okay. Now it is 1 o'clock. I think it's good the time for us to have our lunch break. Then we can come back and continue. Can we have like 15 minutes break? 15-minute lunch break, then we come back and continue. Alright, so I'll see you guys at 1:15. Okay?
Thank you.
Alright, see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
See you at 3 soon.
Enjoy your
Enjoy
lunch.
your meal.
Thank you.